Yeah, good day viewers, welcome back to class. I'm super excited because of the stuff that we are going to be looking at in this tutorial. So guys, if you are new in this YouTube channel, do consider subscribing to this YouTube channel and ensure that you turn on the post notification bell for more exciting video. Guys, don't forget our policy. No part of this video should be skipped. Don't skip any part of this video. It's for your own benefit. Ensure that you avoid every unnecessary distractions anytime you are set to watch and learn from our platform. Finally, do not forget that at any point you are having challenges, you can always replay the video over and over again till you acquaint yourself with the principles and the necessary steps that is required of you to gain mastery over that aspect of the mathematics. Alright guys, so let's get started. Don't forget to like this video. Now on the board we have question number 19. We stopped at question number 18. Don't forget that this is a continuation class. We are looking at quadratic equation. Okay, so on the board we are asked to solve 2x squared minus 11x plus 12 is equal to 0. And now looking at this, we are asked using first factorization method, second formula method, then thirdly we have completing the square methods. Guys, this is so interesting because we have looked at so many problems with all of these methods before in the video, but we just have only one question. When we validate if it is true that any method you use at all will give us the same result. What we are asked to do with this question. So the reason why we are using these three methods now is to check whether these three methods will give us the same result for this particular equation. I bet you it will give us the same result, but if you doubt, then watch it to the end. You will see how true it is that any method of quadratic equation you use to solve any quadratic equation, you will have the same result. Of course, even though you are using graphical methods, you will still have the same result. But now let's get started. The first method here is factorization method. Now in factorization method, we repeat the equation. X squared 11x plus 12 is equal to 0. And guys, you understand that here we really do not stress ourselves anytime we want to use factorization method. All we just need to do is to multiply the constant term with what the leading term, which happens to be the highest power of x. So this guy will multiply this guy. And when 2x squared multiplied 12, we are going to have plus 24x squared. Now the next thing we are quickly going to do is to get two factors of 24 such that their product will give us 24 and the sum of the factors will give us the middle term. So first of all, let's look out for the factors of 24. Now we will draw out a table. This is plus 24. And as I have explained in our previous tutorials, I made it clear to you which is one of the rules that you must go with before you finish dealing with everything in quadratic equation is for the product of two factors to be positive. It is either the two factors are positive or the two factors are negative. Hope you still remember this condition. Yes. So it is either I have 24 times 1, which is the first factor of 24, or minus 24 times minus 1. All of these will give us positive 24 if we multiply them out. Then I have 12 times 2 or minus 12 times minus 2. Also I have 8 times 3 or minus 8 times minus 3. Then I have also 6 times 4 or minus 6 times minus 4. So you see that these are the factors of 24. We have about 8 factors of 24. And among all of these factors that we have here, only one of these factors is suitable for this particular question. And which of them is suitable for this particular question? The one whose sum will give us the middle term. And now when we come here and check the middle term here, the coefficient of the middle term is minus 11. Hope you can see that, guys. Yes. So this is what controls the factor we are going to pick among all of these factors that we just have here now. So all we need to do is to sum them up. So when I add all of these together, this will give us 25, which is plus 25. This will give us minus 25. This will give us plus 14. This will give us minus 14. This will give us positive 11. And this will give us minus 11. This will give us positive 10. And this will give us negative 10. So you see now, All of these are factors of positive 24 when you multiply them out. But what controls the option we are going to pick here is the middle term. So if the middle term is 25, then we will go with the first one plus 25. If the middle term is minus 25, then we will go with minus 25. If the middle term is plus 14, we will go with this, or minus 14, we will go with this. If the middle term is plus 11, we will go with it, but the middle term is minus 11 there, guys. We will be going with this. All we just need to do now is to attach s to this guy, attach s to this guy. This would have been 11x. And if I multiply this by this, this will give us 24x squared. Is that correct, guys? So that means we are going to be replacing 11x with minus 8x and minus 3x. Just to make this term appear in 4 different places. Alright, so we will erase this and come and write down this equation, which is x squared minus 8x in place of 11x, then minus 3x plus 12 is equal to 0. Now we have successfully replaced this single term with 2 terms in order to make this equation in an even term. So this will consider the first 2 terms. Also here, we will consider the last 2 terms. Now between these first 2 terms, 2 is common because 2 is a factor of 8. So we put down 2. Then also we have s squared here. We have s here. That means s is common. So among the first 2 terms now, 2s is common. Hope this is clear. Now, 2s squared divided by 2. 2 cancel 2. S will take care of 1x here. We are left with what? 1x. Then the next is what? Minus 8s divided by 2s. S will cancel s. 8 divided by 2 will give us what? 4. So we have minus 4. Then between this middle sign, which is minus, we put it here. Now between 3x and 12, s is not common, but 3 is common because 3 is a factor of 12, or 12 is divisible by 3. So that means 3 is common. So put down minus 3. Open a bracket now. Minus 3s divided by minus 3. Minus 3 cancel minus 3. We are left with positive x. Then plus 12 divided by minus 3. We are going to have minus 4, which is equal to 0. And like we do always say that after you have successfully factorized this expression, the 2 brackets must be equal. So the first bracket must be equal to the second bracket, which is exactly what we have on the board. That means we are correct at this point. Or to this point now, we are still very, very much correct. Now the next thing we are quickly going to do now is to collate the multiplication factors. Are we there? The multiplication factors here are the factors that are outside the bracket. They are not included in the bracket. Now, one of the first factor there is 2x. So we put down 2x. Then the next factor outside the bracket is minus 3. This will form one bracket. Then finally we pick one of the equal bracket, which is x minus 4 equal to 0. And I've explained countless times that for the product of 2 factors to be 0, it is either the first is equal to 0 or the second is equal to 0. So we are going to be using trial and error method here. Now, it therefore shows that it is either 2x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 4 is equal to 0. All we just need to do now is to collect like terms. Yes, so that we can make s subject of formula. This is all about it. Then the next thing we do, for the first case, we are going to have 2s. As minus 3 crosses the sign, it becomes plus 3. Or as minus 4 crosses the sign here, it becomes plus 4. So the next thing we are quickly going to do is that we cannot leave the coefficient of s to be greater than 1. So we are going to divide this first side by 2 so that we can make the coefficient of x here to be 1. So this divided by 2, we are going to have this, and this divided by 2, we have 2 over 3, or x is equal to 4. Then finally, we are going to have this as x is equal to, we can convert this to what? A mixed fraction. Now, how many times will 2 enter into 3? Is once. So we're going to have 1, and remember what? 1 over 2, or 4. This is the answer to this very question we have on the board using the factorization method. Now we are quickly going to use the formula method. Now guys, if we use the formula method and we do not have the same answer that we had when we use the factorization method, guys, we are wrong. Something is wrong with our study. In as much as we were able to solve this question with factorization method and we have a legit value, guys, every other method will give us the same value. Otherwise, we are wrong. Now let's validate that. So method 2, we are using what? The formula method. Formula method. Now, when you are using the formula method, the first thing we are quickly going to do now is to put down the equation we're given. This is 2x squared minus 11x plus 12 is equal to 0. All you need to do when using the formula method is to first of all state the formula method, which is popularly known as the almighty formula. And what's the almighty formula? I said earlier, you must know this formula by heart. Then this will have given us x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then also the next we are quickly going to do is to state the standard quadratic equation. And what's the standard quadratic equation in terms of x is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now that we have successfully gotten this point, this equation, all we need to do is to compare this standard equation with the one we're given. So when I compare this first term to this first term now, we'll find out that the coefficient of s squared here, which happens to be a, is 2 here. That is to say, where a is equal to 2. Then I will come to the middle term, which is bs. I will compare the middle term here to the middle term here. That is to say, b is equal to minus 11 as given. That shows that b is equal to minus 11. Then finally, when we come to the constant term, which is c, the one that is constant here is 12. That means c is equal to what? Positive 12. It's as simple as this. All we just need to do now is to come back to the almighty formula, which is the quadratic equation formula, and impute these values. Substitute. Then, by so doing, we are going to have x is equal to b is minus 11 plus or minus the square root of minus 11 all squared minus 4 times a is 2 and c is 12. This is it. All over 2 times a is 2. This will have given us x is equal to, now minus times minus is plus. You must understand the multiplication of sign. Then square root of 11 times 11 is 121. Then minus 11 times minus 11 is also positive 121. 1, 2, 1. Then put down your minus, which is the negative sign. Then the next thing we are quickly going to do is to multiply 4 by 2. So minus 4 times 2 will give us 8. Now, 8 times 12. Now this is 12 times 8. All you just need to do, 2 times this is 60, carry 1, this times this, that's 96. So I put down 96. All over 4. Is that correct? Yes. 2 times this is 4. Sorry, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 12 is 96. Hope that is clear. Now let's go. So the next thing we are quickly going to do, 2 times 2 is 4. That is got it. Now we move to the next page of our board, and we have that x is equal to 11 plus or minus the square root of, now 121 minus 96, it will give us 25. You can work that out. Yes, you can work that out. Is 25. So this will have given us 25 all over 4. Okay, let me work it out for you, alright? For that, this is 1, 2, 1. So that you won't say I memorized it. No, I didn't memorize it. So you borrow 1 from these 2. You cannot remove 6. Don't forget that this is minus. You cannot remove 6 from 1 directly. So you borrow 1 from these 2. Put it here, it becomes 11. Now 11 minus 6 is 5. Now we are left with 1 here. And what is remaining here all is 11. Now 11 minus 9 is 2. Have I cleared your doubts? You don't need to memorize it. I just work it out. Alright? Now let's go. Then the next thing we are actually going to do here is x is equal to 11 plus or minus. Now understand that 25 is a perfect square, and the square root of 25 is 5, which happens to be what? 5 times 5. Right? So you put that 5 all over 4. Now guys, s will have given us, now at this point, now that we have successfully removed the square root, we now need to share the middle sign to have 2 results. First, we are going to use plus. Second, we are going to use the negative sign. Now we have 11 plus 5 over 4, or 11 minus 5 over 4. It's as simple as this, guys. As simple as this. As simple as this. Now let's go. So x would have given us, this guy plus this guy will give us what? 16 over 4. Or, now when you remove 5 from 11, guys, you are going to have 6 over 4. So the next thing you quickly do is 16 divided by 4 is 4. And now, 4 cannot divide 6, or 6 is not divisible by 4. All we just need to do now is to look out for the common factor. What can divide 6 and equally divide 4? That factor is 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. If we decide to put our answer in a mixed fraction, therefore we are going to have 4 or minus. How many times will 2 go into 3? Once. Then all over 2, which is the denominator. 2 times 1 is 2. Now, remove the 2 from this numerator. Whatever you have there, you're going to have it as 1. So 3 minus 2, you have 1. So it becomes 1 whole number, 1 over 2. This is the answer to this question when we use the formula method. So, is there any difference? No. Anyone can come first. First, second. 4 or 1 over 2, 1 over 2 or 4. So we have validated that this question can be solved using formula method and factorization method. Now let's quickly look at the method of completing the square, whether that method will also give us the same result that formula method and factorization method give, FF. Now let's look at whether C will give us the same result. Guys, hope this class is interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you have not done so, please follow us on all our social media platforms. You can see the links to our social media platform under the description. So just check the description below and you will find the link to all our social medias, and where you can even private chat us, or you can message us via email. To any problem you have, we can respond to you. Even if at all you need personal one-on-one tutorial class, we are there for you. Love you guys, and we'll look at the method of completing the square. Method of completing the square. Of course, this happens to be the most lengthy method among all the methods, right? Yes, because even the formula method is an end product of method of completing the square. Is that correct? Yes, it's an end product of method of completing the square. So let's look at this one after the other. Please avoid distraction. Now we are using method 3, method of completing the square. All right. So now, guys, you know that in using method of completing the square, there are basic rules, majorly 3 basic rules. The first thing is the coefficient of the leading term, which happens to carry the highest power, must be 1. Now, the highest power of x here is 2, which shows that it's quadratic. So the coefficient of s squared must be 1. And now it is not 1. So what do we do? First thing is to divide both sides by that coefficient. So we simply divide all 10, all 3 by 2. Why are we not dividing both sides by 2? So that we can make the coefficient of s squared to be 1. So this will have given us s squared over 2 minus 11x over 2 plus 12 over 2 is equal to 0 over 2. So when we divide this by 2, guys, this take care of this. We're going to have s squared minus 11x over 2 plus 6. 12 divided by 2 is 6, then 0 divided by 2 is 0. Now, we are done using step number 1. Step number 2 states that the constant term, which is the term without x, must be taken to the right-hand side. Now, it is initially at the left-hand side. So, to move the constant from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, something must happen to that number. Is that correct? So, now, at the left-hand side, the constant term we have here now is plus 6, which is the one without x. Now, when we move plus 6 from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, it becomes minus 6. Then, this will have given us x squared minus 11 over 2x is equal to minus 6. We are done using rule 1 and rule 2. Then, rule 3, which is the heart of the method of completing the square. Now, rule number 3 says that we should have the square of the coefficient of x to both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Okay, so we are quickly going to state this on the board. Add half the square of the coefficient of x to both sides. So by this statement, All you just need to do now is to come to this equation and identify the coefficient of x, not s here, x. So now this is x, and the coefficient of x here is minus 11 over 2. Now, what will be the half of this? Just multiply it by minus 2. Now, what will be the square? Square everything. So we are going to be adding everything here to both the left hand side and the right hand side. It's as simple as this. Then we have s squared minus 11 over 2x plus this bracket, which is minus 11 over 2 times 1 over 2 squared, is equal to minus 6 plus this same value, minus 11 over 2 times 1 over 2, all squared. It's as simple as that. All squared. So when we simplify these guys, all we need to do is to what? Multiply out what we have inside the bracket. So we have this as s squared minus 11 over 2x plus, now minus 11 times 1 will give us minus 11. 2 times 2 will give us 4. All squared is equal to minus 6 plus minus 11 over 4. All squared. Alright? Then the next thing we are quickly going to do at the left hand side is to ignore the S10. This is the S10. We will ignore everything that has to do with x. So we are going to go with the first term and the last term at the left hand side. So by going with that, we will first of all pick the base of the first term, which is x. Then add that to what? The second term, the second base. And this other base now is minus 11 over 4. Then we have minus 11 over 4. All squared. Initially, they all have squares. So you now bring them together and group them under one square. That's exactly what we have done to the left by ignoring this middle term. By what we have done so far now, this term we just ignore is right inside here. Alright? Now, this would have given us minus 6. Now, we will square out this. Minus 11 times minus 11 will give us 121. So we have plus 121 and 4 times 4. Don't forget that this square affects everything inside the square, right? So this is 11 square and also this is 4 square. So 4 square is 4 times 4 and 4 times 4, guys, is 16. Now at the right hand side, we discover that we have a resulting fraction. Now to put minus 6 in each fraction, we simply say over 1. So at the right hand side now we have a fraction. So when you have a fraction that is connected with either plus or minus sign, what do? You simply make use of what? The law of addition and subtraction of fraction, which says that you find the LCM of the denominator so that you can obtain a common denominator for the numbers of fractions that you have there. And now we have two fractions. So we need one common denominator for them. And how do we get this? We will simply find the LCM of the denominators. Now, the LCM of 1 and 16 is 16. Are we there? Yes. So at the left hand side, this will give us minus 11 over 4 all squared is equal to, put down your division sign, 16 is the LCM. So 16 divided by this first denominator 1. 16 divided by 1 is 16. Now 16 times 6. You can come here and do it without calculator because I don't have calculator. So 6 times 6 is 36. Put down 6, carry 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3, you have 9. So this will have given us minus 96 plus 16 divided by 16 is 1. And 1 times 121 is 121. As simple as that. Hope you have gotten how we have simplified this. Please, if you do not understand this concept of fraction, we have looked at fraction very well in one of our videos, so you can go back and check our playlist so that you can look out for fractions. Everything about fraction was discussed extensively. Are you there? Now here, let's go. At this point we have x minus 11 over 4 all squared. Now at the right hand side, minus 96 plus 121, guys, would have given us 25 over 60. Now that we have successfully simplified the right hand side to the possible best or to the least level we can simplify it, all we need to do now is to take the square root of both sides. And when we take the square root of both sides, at the left hand side, this power square will disappear. Are we there? So when we find the square root of this, the square root will cancel this s square there. So we will cancel this square. There we have 11 minus 1, x minus 11 over 4 is equal to the square root of 25 over 16. I have explained countless times that anytime you introduce a square root to the right hand side, you must introduce plus or minus. The square root comes with plus or minus. This is it. We remove the square from here and it turns to the square root of the right hand side. Just the same way, if you have s squared is equal to 9, to find the value of s, all you simply do is s is equal to square root of 9. I hope you now understand what we did here, right? Now, this is it. Okay, now the next thing we are quickly going to do here is to find the root of 25 and the root of 16, of course. 25 and 16 are both perfect square, like I explained before. If both are perfect square, it shows that the expression is factorizable, or the quadratic equation is factorizable, which we have already checked before now. Okay, so here we have x minus 11 over 4 is equal to plus or minus. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 16 is 4. And I explained before when we were looking at method of completing the square that once you finally find the square root of the right hand side, you must ensure that what you have at the denominator for both the left hand side and the right hand side, they are the same, otherwise you are wrong. Now at the left hand side, initially we have 4. Now after finding the square root of the right hand side, if you do not have 4 at the denominator, you are wrong. So you need to trace your step back. Hope this is gotten. If you have 4 here and you have 8 here or 2 here, you are wrong. You must have 4 at both ends. The denominators at both sides must be equal for you to know that you are correct, because it's not just all about solving. Mathematics, they mark your steps, not your answer. So it's not just all about solving. You must be conscious of the fact that you are making the right steps. Alright? You must ensure that every step you take, you are law and principle guided. Now let's do. Then s becomes, we now make s square formula. Here, to make s square formula, we are simply going to take minus 11 over 4 to the right hand side, and when minus 11 over 4 crosses from the left to the right, it becomes plus 11 over 4. Then this will have given us 11 over 4 plus or minus 5 over 4. Now at this point, all we simply need to do is to share this sign that is in between them. All we just need to do is to share the sign. And how do we share the sign? This will have been 11 over 4. We use plus first. 5 over 4. Or, because we used to call this plus or minus. So you use plus or you use minus. Then, or 11 over 4 minus 5 over 4. Guys, it's as simple as this. Then the next thing we do, since we have common denominators, just put that in the denominator, add the numerators together. So 11 plus 5 will give us 16. Or the same way here, we have common denominator, put that in the denominator, then subtract the numerator. So 11 minus 5 will give us 6. It's as simple as that, guys. Then this will have given us 16 divided by 4 is 4. Or 6 divided by 4 is impossible, right? So we quickly find a common factor. And the common factor that can divide both 6 and 4 is 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Finally, we can convert this to this fraction by having x is equal to 4 or my 1 whole number 1 over 2. So guys, this is the root of this particular equation. Like I explained earlier on, I mentioned that every quadratic equation has two roots. Two roots. Only two values. Now, so if we obtain a particular value with factorization method and those values were true, then it shows that if we apply all other methods, we are expected to have the same result. And that is exactly what we have now. So all the methods that we use, this is all that we have. S is equal to 4 or 1 whole number 1 over 2. Guys, we have come to the end of this aspect of solving quadratic equation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following us. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for liking all our videos. Thanks for subscribing. And for those who are yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel because you are still doubting, please, we beg you, subscribe to this YouTube channel and ensure that you turn on the post notification bell so that anytime we upload mind-blowing content, even while you are asleep, you will be notified and you can watch it at any time of your convenience. Are you there? Now, ensure that this video, you share it, like it. As a teacher, share it for your student. Don't be ashamed to let your student know what is happening in Master Builders Online Academy. Alright? So please, we love you guys. Ensure you keep following us. And if you want to keep following us or learn more about us or learn more about our teaching skills, please, you can follow us on all our social platforms, which you can see at the description below. So just slide to the description below where you will see the link to all our social media platforms. You can visit us there, message us, and we will reply. Then if you have personal questions that we need to attend to, please at the comment section you can put it there. But if you feel that it is not convenient for you to put it at the comment section, please, our email address is there. Yes, our official email address is there, which is what? contact@mbfconcept.com. You can message us via that email and we will reply to you as quick as possible. We love you guys. Thanks for being our fans. Thanks for representing us, and thanks for learning wisdom via this online tutorial class. See you guys in the next video. Guys, I'll quickly give you a brief illustration. The next class, we are going to be looking at construction of quadratic equation. How are quadratic equation formed? Guys, I know you will like that class. It will help you very, very well. We are going to be using these answers we just have now. This answer we have here now to form this question. So we want to see how this question, this root can give us back this equation. So this is what we are quickly going to be looking at in this short while. So see you guys in the next video.